Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video where today we will be having a look at two separate products, both from Santali, one being the Aagaz S1-O mouse and another being their Cosmo Luminous mousepad. For the sake of full transparency, both of these products were sent to me by Santali, however, my opinions are entirely my own and not influenced by them whatsoever. The Santali Aagaz S1-O comes in at a length of 125mm, a width of 65mm and a height of 39mm, weighing in at 49 grams. This puts it into a sweet spot, which I personally really enjoy, though it is not a super lightweight mouse as some people are starting to expect these days. The mouse costs €95 usually, though it is currently on sale for €83 on Santali's own website and €70 on Max Gaming. The mouse comes with a Pixart 3395 sensor, as well as an included 8K Hz dongle. This is quite refreshing to see, as many mice at this price point, or even more expensive mice, are opting for making these higher polling rate dongles additional purchases instead. Santali has chosen against this in order to reduce waste and improve the overall package for the price, which I think is fantastic. For me, the shape of the S1-O was one of the biggest positives while using the mouse. The relatively long and thin shape of the mouse felt absolutely perfect, with the mid-hump and flared base filling my hand perfectly in a semi-aggressive claw shape with my 21 by 10 by 5 cm hands. It is a very unique shape, with nothing else that feels all too similar to it. In terms of the coating and design, the colors of this mouse are absolutely breathtaking. I love this Mirage colorway with a combination of the light, almost baby blue on top and the orange bottom. The coating is fantastic as well, as it doesn't attract fingerprints very much, nor did it give me any issues in terms of sweating. The mouse feels very sturdy in hand, with no significant weak spots anywhere on the shell. Maybe it doesn't feel quite as solid as some heavier mice like the Vaxi and Sora collab, but it definitely feels more premium than a lot of the lighter mice, which almost feel hollow at times. I think Santali really hit the sweet spot here. I wish a lot more companies took a book out of Santali's page when it came to the overall package with this mouse, as the design, shape, and coating, and inclusion of the 8K Hz dongle really make it quite special. The S1-O uses Omron optical switches and a TTC silver encoder, which feel good. Though I did have some issues with click consistency, where some clicks sounded a lot heavier than others during extended use. This was an issue which I didn't feel at all while playing, though if I ever used it with headphones off, it was somewhat off-putting at times. The scroll wheel feels okay as well, with soft but identifiable steps on the scroll, though I personally wasn't a fan of the texture on the rubberized scroll wheel itself, as it doesn't feel very tactile or smooth, but kind of sits in the middle where there's just a very light texture to it, meaning sometimes my finger slipped over it ever so slightly. The side buttons felt good, though again they were nothing mind-blowing. Overall the clicks are very solidly implemented, though I have definitely used better. Some other things that I would like to mention are related to the bottom of the mouse. The base is incredibly basic, with a larger front skate and some smaller corner skates towards the bottom, though personally I would have preferred to see a full-size skate cutout towards the bottom, to at least have the option for a larger skate or for more flexibility when applying dot skates. This isn't possible as there is a cutout for a USB dongle, which confuses me, as the 8K Hz dongle was the only one included in the box, as per their philosophy to minimize waste, but it doesn't even come close to fitting in this cutout. I'm not sure if this is an oversight from the production process where at some point there may have been a smaller dongle, but I do think that this is something that Santali can look at to changing in the future, to give some more flexibility to customers. One final thing to note is that the battery life wasn't great for me. Even when playing between 1 and 2000 Hz, I had to charge the mouse every 2 or so days. This wasn't a massive issue necessarily, as I usually charge my mice when I'm not actively playing, but it is something to keep in mind. I also did get a warning from my antivirus when downloading the software for the mouse to change the polling rate, which I'm sure isn't an issue either, but might be good for some who like to be more careful to consider. The downloadable software itself is easy to navigate and has all the functions one would expect, including ripple control, angle snapping, and motion sync, though I'm not entirely sure why you'd want to use these, but they are there just in case. Obviously, setting macros, changing DPI and polling rate along with LED control are also all available through the software. Overall though, the S1-O was a fantastic mouse which I thoroughly enjoyed using, especially for a mouse which can be picked up for as little as €70 currently, I think it's absolutely something worth looking into for anyone who needs a very solid mouse that does the basics well but doesn't break the bank. Now, moving on to the Cosmo Luminous, which is the control pad out of Santali's Glide Surface lineup, all of which will set you back 35 euros. This is a slightly textured control pad coming in at a standard size of 490 by 420 millimeters with a base thickness of 3.7 millimeters. The pad's soft pour-on base is slightly firmer than Artisan soft bases, though it does still have a good bounce to it. Overall, desk adhesion on the base was very good, in line with what you would typically expect from a standard pour-on base. The texturing on the surface is definitely a lot less than the Hien, but more than you would expect from a Type 99 or Zero, for example. The combination of the hardened textured surface and a soft base make for an interesting combination, which performed quite well in most situations. The surface is slightly more loosely woven than the Hien, which is probably why it is slower, but also does not feel as aggressive as the Hien does out of the box. I did encounter some issues when playing with dot skates, in which the pad felt a little bit wobbly at times, especially when playing with only 4 dots as I did on my WL Mouse Beast X Max here. In terms of its speed, the Cosmo sat quite comfortably in between my PadSmith Crucible Pro and the PMM S1P, putting it at the faster end of control and slower end of balance pads. It is by no means a mud pad with very smooth and consistent glide across both axes, giving it quite a good performance profile. I would feel more comfortable calling this a balanced surface because of its properties, though with full transparency I have not tried Santali's other surfaces, so I'm unsure how it compares to these. I do definitely wish that the pads came in additional size options, though I am sure this is something that Santali will consider if the demand for it arises. The pad is definitely solid, and especially for the price point, it is something which people who are looking for a cheaper textured pad alternative to something like the Artisan Hayate Ku or a slower Otsu, though with a consistent X and Y axis, should absolutely consider. Overall, both of these products shine in one key aspect: their price to performance ratio. Personally, they aren't endgame level products which I would main over more expensive alternatives, but they are absolutely reliably good peripherals, which will give you top tier performance without breaking the bank. Especially the S1-O is something that I would recommend to everyone to try at least once, as the comfort and performance really is just something which is difficult to find at this price point. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys all enjoyed this review of the Santali Aagaz S1-O as well as the Santali Cosmo Luminous. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.